Good evening, everybody. First, I want to thank Tabitha Pilchard and Vanessa Collins for helping to organize this opportunity for us to speak with the staff and other members of our campus community. There is so much going on as we plan our return to campus, and we truly appreciate everyone's patience as we get you the information that you so badly need. I want our employees, students, families, and our community to know that as we plan the return to campus this fall, the decisions that we make are based on science and the best available medical advice that we can get, with the intention of providing all of you with a positive educational or work experience this fall. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Tabitha and Vanessa.
Thank you, Dr. Wight. I just want to start out by saying thank you for having us. We're happy to be joining you and the rest of the SU community in this town hall. Staff Senate has been working closely with administration on ways to bring back staff, students, and faculty in the safest way possible, and we're happy to partake in this event and hopefully provide a wealth of information.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say we really appreciate the opportunity to share some of the details with SU's community.
You want to start the questioning?
Sure can. I'm going to send this one first to Tabitha. Could you start by outlining some of the changes that we should expect to see in the Commons and other dining locations?
Yes, some of the changes that we can expect to see in the Commons and the other dining locations are the cleaning of high-touched areas more frequently to protect our customers and staff. We will be providing more hand sanitizer and wipe dispensing stations to supplement hand washing. There will be touchless swipe in entry to the Commons dining hall. We will also be implementing advanced ordering and payment technology through Grubhub for retail locations and made-to-order stations at the Commons. We will be installing wellness shields at all campus cash handling stations. We will be reducing the risk of cross-contamination in the Commons by limiting self-service and providing more pre-portioned items. And finally, the last item is broadening our retail menu options to include grab-and-go and full meal solutions. So quite a wealth of options and changes that we're doing to provide a safer environment in the Commons.
Thanks. Dr. Wight, has there been any consideration of requiring students to have a COVID test before returning to campus?
Wow, that's a big question. We are currently working with the University System of Maryland, with state and local health officials, as well as with the university health team to provide COVID testing for all members of our campus community. We will conduct broad baseline testing at the beginning of the semester, and that will be followed up by periodic surveillance testing for the COVID virus during the semester. The details of this process are still being worked out right now, and we'll be posting additional information on the SU COVID website as it becomes available.
Thank you. Also, I thought maybe you could talk about the density in the offices and how are higher density offices being socially distanced besides having people work from home? What else is going on campus in our office situation?
Well, generally speaking, those employees who are working in shared offices must wear masks when more than one person is present. And but you can distance people in both distance and time. So we're working out staggered work schedules as well to reduce the amount of overlap time in each office. Staff members can reach out to your supervisor or to the Office of Safety and Sustainability for specific ideas or office plans if you need assistance with this.
Tabitha, could you talk about the physical changes that are happening in offices around campus? For example, are plexiglass barriers being installed in any locations?
Great question, thank you. Some of the physical changes that will be happening are directional signage at stairways, lecture halls, and the reconfiguration of large meeting spaces are currently taking place. There's also been de-densification of instructional and meeting and lounge spaces. Plexiglass barriers have been and are continuing to be installed at transaction and reception counters and desks. The facilities team is also installing removable barriers at doorways to small offices, curtain dividers in double occupancy bedrooms, and plastic covers over sinks and urinals to de-densify the restrooms. We are also making upgrades to several ventilation systems, installing HEPA filters in select areas, and putting up several tents around campus for use as classrooms, meeting spaces, and lounges.
Dr. Wight, could you talk to us about if it's the employee's responsibility that we should assess our workspaces, or is someone else going to be helping us with that?
No, it's not the employee's responsibility to do this. Employees should reach out to their supervisors or to the Office of Safety and Sustainability. We have professionals who can assess physical workspaces. Employees can also complete a physical plant work order online, and the appropriate person will be assigned to do that assessment.
Oh, good, thanks. Tabitha, will instruction be provided with PPE and cleaning supplies?
Yes, training materials and videos will definitely be provided.
And what type of PPE and cleaning supplies will be provided to classrooms?
Each instructional space will be provided with water-based disinfectant, paper towels, and sanitary wipes for keyboards and touchpads. The computer labs will also be provided with aerosol disinfectant spray suitable for keyboards and mice. All faculty will be provided with 2 washable masks and a face shield. Supply of disposable masks will be provided at the department level for occasional need. HEPA filters will be installed in select classrooms, and staff officers will be provided with masks and cleaning kits as well.
What's the plan when there's an outbreak of COVID in a dorm or a building? And how will they be given food? And will they have to quarantine for a couple of weeks? So that's a couple of different questions that I've asked Dr. Wight to answer.
Okay. Well, we have a plan for that. Housing and Residence Life has a plan to provide food and wellness resources and other necessities to students until we can get them home, which is always our first priority. They'll just have better overall care if they go home to their families. If a student must complete the 14-day isolation on campus, then we'll work with Student Health Services to provide those resources as long as they're needed.
And what is the campus positivity rate that will shut things down or send students home?
Well, we're working on that. We're talking with health officials, including the Wacomico County Health Department and the University Health Team, to determine what that threshold might be and how we would need to change or amend operations based on an increase in cases locally or on campus. But you know, this situation changes weekly and monthly. We had a big rise in cases in April. And then again, just recently in Maryland, it looks like Maryland's caseload is beginning to subside again. So these kinds of decisions depend not only on what's going on campus, but also what's happening in the greater community.
Tabitha, from the student perspective, if all your classes are online, should students come to campus and therefore have a housing contract? And what about residency requirement?
Well, as you know, we have 3 types of course formats that we're offering for the fall. We have hybrid, remote, and online course formats, which allow the students the flexibility to choose where they wish to be while receiving their SU education. In regard to residency requirements, students should reach out to housing with questions regarding their on-campus contracts.
Thank you. Dr. Wight, what changes should we expect to the academic calendar?
Well, we've tried to make as few changes as possible, actually. And right now, the only change to the academic calendar is that we are going to hold classes on Labor Day, which is September 7th, I believe. So as scheduled, the first day of classes for the regular fall session will be Monday, August 31st, and the last day of classes will be Friday, December 18th. I'm sorry, Friday, December 11th.
And what are the campus and in-person staffing expectations for student service offices? So those offices that really have a higher impact with the students.
Well, individual employees should direct questions about specific office hours and setup and capacities to their supervisors. The supervisors have been working on what those hours should be and how the offices are configured and the schedules that will keep people minimally overlapped. The supervisors will work with the Office of Safety and Sustainability to provide office configurations or modifications, guidelines based on space, employees, and customer volume. Students should make sure to check online for changes to office hours. And interestingly, because of the necessity of keeping people apart, students may find that office hours will be actually extended a little bit, with some employees being present in the morning and others in the afternoon.
Thank you. Tabitha, what opportunities will be provided to staff to foster a positive connection with the university while we continue to telework? Things like virtual lunches or virtual exercises classes or something meaningful for us to look forward to.
I know I miss my SU family, so that is a great question. While our focus has been on how we can safely bring students, faculty, and staff back to campus to learn, we do recognize that campus life is important for everyone, and I think these are some great suggestions. We will be putting out an edition of Panorama this fall, which will focus on virtual events for our campus and greater community. I do know that the Seagull Century Bike Ride has already announced that it is going virtual, so that is something we can look forward to.
President Wight, can any more specifics be shared about the current plans for commencement?
Oh, wow. Okay. Even though SU could not hold its in-person commencement ceremonies this past spring, we know that the efforts of our graduates deserve special recognition. And we still plan to celebrate our graduates this semester, in fall semester, and SU's commencement website will have the most current information. It's hard to predict what's going to happen almost 6 months from now, but we're committed to a celebration and we will let you know how it's going to happen.
Tabitha, what is the status of the campus climate survey? What information will be shared and when?
Well, the campus climate survey closed in late April. This summer, the consultant Rankin and Associates, they have been working on developing our report. The results will be shared with the SU community as planned this fall. An exact date to be determined has still not been determined, but the full project timeline and other information is available on SU's campus climate website.
And lastly, has there been any change in tuition or fees with this new structure that we're facing?
At the current time, the University System of Maryland Board of Regents have not made any adjustments to tuition and fees. The tuition and fees across the entire system remain fixed at the 2019 levels, including the tuition and fees at Salisbury University. So it's a little bit of a break for students, but tuition is flat.
Thank you.
So was that the last of the questions, Vanessa?
That was the last of the questions that were submitted, yes.
Okay. I have a couple of more things I'd just like to mention. On Tuesday, the Wacomico County Public Schools Superintendent, Dr. Donna Hanlon, recommended to the school board that all students begin the school year with virtual instruction. And the board accepted that recommendation, but an official decision is not expected until next week. But we anticipate that the state will approve it. Many of our SU faculty and staff, and even some of our students, have children in the K-12 school system. And so they have parenting responsibilities of children who are not going to school every day. And so we will continue to be as accommodating as possible to our faculty and staff and students as it relates to K-12 decisions. We're bringing on a number of medical professionals to Salisbury University to increase support for faculty, staff, and students. We've also supplemented our existing support with 24/7 access to mental health services as well as to COVID-related health services. This information is now available on our coronavirus webpage. I know that a lot of you are concerned about furloughs and layoffs. At this time, SU is in a relatively good financial standing, and although we had to make some pretty difficult decisions about contract renewals this past summer, we will continue to protect our people and their jobs as much as possible. I want to point out that this year, 2 of our Salisbury University staff members have been recognized by the USM Board of Regents with Regents Staff Awards. Claire Williams in the Seidel School and Megan Baker in our PR office. So if you see Megan or Claire, tell them congratulations. That's a really great honor to have 2 of these staff awards for our SU staff members. Tabitha and Vanessa, thank you for joining me for this presentation. And everybody at home, as always, please visit the website for additional information. Thanks, everybody.